Hello and let's get on with it. Here are some beginner tips if you're a new player, Gloria Victis. Well, if you're a veteran, you might not know some of them, so let's get on with it. First, when you start in your character and leveling, look at this. You will have one ability respec and one attribute respec. Don't use them. Don't use them until you're actually sure what you want to be doing, which build you're gonna be using. So unless you have a good build and you're pretty sure you're gonna stick with it, don't use them. Why? Because, well, look at this. When you use them up and you want to buy some new ones, there they are. You either need 3,200 contribution points, which takes a lot to grind because these are event based, so you have to wait for them really. And if you want to buy them, check out the average price, market price, if anyone's selling them. That's 5 gold, and that's pretty much 5 gold as well. So think of it that way. Do you really want to spend 5 gold just because you want to move these a bit? And especially when you're leveling up, a lot of people will respec because they want to get something right now, and then they want to wait 20 more levels or so to put the points in there. That's a mistake. Keep these respecs for you. They are very precious. Next thing is stamina management. When you want to keep your stamina up, well, first of all, there is a difference in running between an unsheeted and a sheeted weapon. When you're running when you're just pressing forward and your weapon is sheeted, you're basically going into a run state, and then when you press shift once and hold it, you're going into sprint. When your weapon is unsheeted though, you're walking when you're just pressing forward. When you press shift, you're running, and when you double tap shift and hold it, then you're sprinting. So that's the difference. Now for the stamina management of these. When you want to keep your stamina on a high level, as you know, to be aware of any traps might be going your way, being ready to fight like this, you want to just release the shift and hold it again so that you're running, and let your stamina regenerate up to back to full before you start sprinting again. And then when it goes down a bit, release the shift and hold it again to start running. Now when you want to be as efficient as possible and you don't really care about being ambushed, then once your stamina is like lowest, don't run but walk instead. Why walk right now and not before? Because when you walk in, your stamina regenerates the faster, the more you are walking. So it is actually beneficial to walk when your stamina is low, but when it is not, be running, don't be walking then. Next tip, to make money, always to pick up the plants, trees and all, but make sure that you are actually planting something, that it is growing, because everything that you're planting takes time to grow. So let's have an example. Let's just plant some root. Only a few of them. You can have 20 plants planted at a time. You don't have to rewater. You have to water it once, but you don't have to rewater it. You don't really have to take the weeds out because they will only increase the time a bit, and it's not really efficient to do it. So just plant them, water them, and then wait for 15 minutes for the smaller plants, or like half an hour for flax and such. And another tip here, have water in your hotbar. Don't be like, currently it's raining, so I don't really have to water it, but if it wouldn't be raining, then have water in your hotbar, and don't be watering them one at a time. Just press water, hover over a few of them, press E, and this way you can water like 6 or 8 plants at a time easily. So while this is growing, and imagine there's 20 of those, I'm not really bothered to do it right now, be running around and look for the plants like this. As you can already see, I have my grass turned off. You go into options, go into graphics, I believe it's it's over here. Turn your grass density to 0 so that the only small plants you see are the ones that you are able to harvest. Like over there, I can already see that there's a small plant there. It is harvestable. Yep, it is. So let's pick it up. Next, you want to be fighting lynxes, old bears, and dark hounds, because these drop swords, and these are very valuable crafting resource. So you can see 1 silver each, and it only like takes a few swings. Another time 1 silver each. Sometimes they don't drop it, but it's not as often as they do. Right. Next is the armor selection. Always remember when you're wearing armor that the chest is the best piece to go into a lighter version, as it is the least effective armor piece when it comes to penalties versus the armor it gives. So always switch the chest to lighter version first, and opposite of that, always change legs into a heavier version, because these are the most efficient when it comes to penalties versus armor it provides. So legs for the heavier, chest for the lighter. And if you're playing archer, you should be sticking to light armor only, and if you're playing tank, you should be sticking to heavy armor only. Any other class or builds you're playing, it is often a good idea to mix these armor ups, so keep this one in mind. Next, we have attacking. Now, you don't want to be just clicking instantly and don't even let that bar go any up, because you're basically hitting just as weak as if you were out of stamina, which is another tip for you. If you're out of stamina, you are hitting like a little girl. So if you are being hit and you are out of stamina, it might be a good idea to stand still, then just face tank a hit or two and let some stamina to regenerate up, so that you are actually able to defend yourself. So when you're attacking, you want to be going for the yellow bar. As you can see, when you fully charge it, there's a green, yellow and red, and it will go off after a while. You want to be attacking with melee when it's on yellow. When it comes to bows, you want to be attacking when it actually reaches red. And for the damage types, keep in mind that heavy armor is very resistant to piercing and slashing, but it is weak to bludgeoning. Now, always have a bludgeoning weapon in your hotbar, even if you are like full dexterity archer. You're still going to be dealing more burst damage per swing with a one-handed bludgeoning weapon than you're doing with your best slashing or piercing weapon, because of that armor reduction the heavy guy gets. So basically, bludgeoning weapon is good against most armor types. It's slower to swing, but it will always deal a lot of damage, and it will deal the most damage to heavy armored guys. So keep that in mind. It's better to hit them with a stick than with a sword. Next armor damage type you want to be aware of is the gate. Use an axe for that. And when you're chopping down the gate, try to bind the overhead attack so that you're not swinging, you're not thrusting like this, or you're not swinging sideways to hit your allies and not actually damage the gate. Just bind yourself an overhead swing and attack the gate like this. And you want to be attacking the gate when the bar is again on yellow, because there's no difference between the yellow and the red in this matter. So conserve your stamina and conserve the time and efficiency, because you'll be swinging faster if you do just like this, instead of going for the full red bar every time. Next thing is when you're blocking, someone can hit you. The default kick, someone can kick you, yeah. The default kick button is Q. If you're blocking, whether it's with a shield or with a weapon, and you're getting a kick, you're going to get stunned. And when you're stunned, you're gonna be standing around waiting for someone to hit you. So when you see a kick incoming, drop that block button. You're gonna take like 10 damage from the kick, so it's just better to take that rather than get stunned. Because when you get stunned, the enemy is free to score a hit on you, if he knows how to do it, because after recent changes, some people don't. So how do you want to kick enemies? When you see them blocking, press that Q button and then immediately start holding attack. So you kick, you hold attack, and you attack on yellow. If you hold it for until red goes, the enemy might have a chance to block it, and the entirety of your free hit goes to waste. So there's that. This is especially important against those heavy tank players that's gonna keep the shield up. There's no point if there are 5 people attacking the shield and nobody kicking it. So remember, if it's blocking too much, just kick it. Or at least try to. Next, food quality. You got your stomach here, and you have the average food quality. In my case, it's 9.03, so you always want to be progressing it toward 10. Or at least 9.5 or more is the maximum, is the best bonuses you're gonna get. So will be about 10. At the moment I'm hungry, I just ran out of food. I'm gonna have to deal with that very soon, right after I finish recording this. But just make sure that you are eating food of at least higher quality than your stomach is. And even if you're on low quality, you might still considering eating stuff of much higher, because you will progress to that 10.0 or 9.5 as the maximum as sooner. Well, basically, and keep in mind that it costs. Yeah, the high quality food is rather expensive, but it is worth it. It is worth it. You don't really have to use it that much or that often, but it is worth getting these buffs. Next, when you're leveling up, take note of this little button over here, right under your minimap to the left. There's an ink and a feather, and these are the arenas. Don't go into observe mode. Register for an arena. If another player does that, and most often do, then you're gonna get teleported to the arena. You can do it anywhere on the map. Right now I can do it, and if there's someone in arenas, I will get teleported to get a fight with him. This is the most efficient way to get experience, both as a character for the experience that you're gonna get to progress toward your level, and as a player, because you are actually fighting other players and you are progressing your own skill. So this is very, very good. Now, there is an argument, and I actually personally agree with it, that the dueling arena will give you some basic skills, but if you're not doing super well in the arena, keep in mind that you might be a very bad arena player, but it doesn't mean you are a bad soldier. In open warfare, it's actually more important to know where to stand, the positioning and timing, and actually knowing when, where, and who to strike is more important than how to do it. Because in open warfare, not a lot of people are feinting attacks, for example, because there is little point to it. When you're fighting like 10 versus 10 people, it's just better to switch your target quickly if someone's blocking rather than trying to feint him away. So next point is looting. When an enemy dies, there's gonna be a body on the ground, and he's gonna have about 30 seconds before he respawns, and that gives you about 25-ish seconds for you to loot him. That there is a looting system in a game. When you're looting someone, you're, for example, capable of looting one of those 3 pieces, and then one of those. Alright, so either looting a chest, like. Alright, let's start it again. You can loot all these 3 pieces, like shoulders, gloves, and boots, in one looting, okay? Or you're actually able to loot one of these, legs, chest, or head, and one of those smaller pieces. Or you can loot a weapon or a shield and one of those smaller pieces. Or you can take some of the resources, and you can take like 5 at a time, and you're only taking 100 out of a stack. So if you see someone having like 9,000 billets, you want to loot that, but you will only get 100 of it. Now, as we are at the looting, a very important thing. When you see your ally looting an enemy, actually let me equip a shield for that. Where would I have some shields? There it is. When you see an ally looting an enemy, get that shield up, stand in front of him and protect him from archers so that his looting is not interrupted. You would want someone to do that for you as well, so do it for your allies. Like, do for others what you want to be done for yourself. And the same thing goes that when your ally is being looted, when you're standing or retreating, running from an enemy, let's say they're over there, keep that tilt button, keep looking. You see them kneeling down on the enemy's body, take the bow out, and do just a light strike on them, just to get a damage. It interrupts the looting, and it will be very frustrating to an enemy, trust me. And an ally will be really thankful. And that's how you want to win the wars, right? By morale. This is very good when you're interrupting looting and when you are protecting allies that are looting themselves. This is very important. And as we are to looting, because this is a looting game, one of the most important factors is your armor. Always be wearing whatever you can afford to lose. Don't be the guy who grinds for 10 hours, then spends all that 10-hour grind into an armor set that you're gonna lose in 15 minutes and then be whining about it for the next 5 hours or so. Don't be that guy. If you're a new player, if you don't have enough things in your stash, wear a cheaper set. Wear something that you're gonna laugh off when you lose. Don't be the crier. So on that note, thanks for watching and bye.